Singer Sons, it's Mrs. Gloom, and I'm going to read a book called Harriet Tubman, written by Christine Platt, illustrated by Addie Rivera. Chapter 1, Girl with a Dream. In January 1822, Harriet Green and Benjamin Ross welcomed the birth of their fifth child. They named their daughter Aramenta Ross. Her nickname was Minty. Her parents had no idea she would grow up to become the Shero, Harriet Tubman. Aramenta was born on a plantation in Dorchester County, Maryland. She was a slave like her parents. Slaves were descendants of Africans who were stolen from their homeland and sold into slavery. Slaves were forced to work without pay. They were badly punished if they refused. Fear was why slaves did whatever their owners ordered. Aramenta's mother was a servant in the big house. This was where slave owners' families lived. Aramenta's father was a skilled carpenter. He worked for slave owners and neighboring plantations. Even though Aramenta's siblings were children, they were forced to work. When Aramenta turned 5 years old, she was forced to work as well. She had to watch a neighboring slave owner's baby. She had to keep it from crying. Of course it was impossible. Aramenta was punished a lot. The slave owners where Aramenta lived were very mean. The work they gave her was difficult. She got in trouble when she made a mistake. Aramenta was only happy when she was with her parents and siblings. But slave families spent little time together. They were forced to work from sunrise to sunset. Aramenta could not imagine living her entire life as a slave. Even as a little girl, she dreamed of freedom. When Aramenta was 12 years old, she tried to protect a slave. She suffered a bad head injury because of this. She never fully recovered. Aramenta was given less work because of her injuries, but she still wasn't free. She wanted freedom more than anything in the world. Chapter 2, Woman on a Mission. As a young woman, Aramenta wanted to honor her mother, so she changed her name to Harriet. In 1844, Harriet married John Tubman, a free black man. This was how she became known as Harriet Tubman. Sadly, Harriet's husband did not treat her well. She lived in fear. Harriet learned that 2 of her brothers were being mistreated by their owners, so she came up with a plan. She hoped it would lead them to the freedom she dreamed of. On the night of September 17th, 1849, Harriet and her brothers escaped. They headed north, where slaves could live as free people. The closest northern state was Pennsylvania. It was 90 miles away. Harriet and her brothers did not escape in cars. They did not ride horses. They escaped on foot. They were helped by a secret travel system known as the Underground Railroad. Trains have stops along the tracks where passengers get on and off. The Underground Railroad had safe places along the way. There, runaway slaves could rest and hide during the day. Then they could travel at night. With the help of the Underground Railroad, Harriet and her brothers gained their freedom in Pennsylvania. Having her freedom wasn't enough for Harriet. She had a mission. She wanted to free as many slaves as possible. Chapter 3, So Smart, So Brave. Harriet was brave to escape her slave owner in Maryland. She was also smart. She outsmarted people who searched for runaway slaves. Most slaves who found freedom in the North never returned to the South. But Harriet returned to the South many times. She helped guide family, friends, and even strangers north to freedom. In 1850, a new law made Harriet's mission even more dangerous. Before the Fugitive Slave Act, runaway slaves were safe as soon as they made it to a free state, but not after the law was passed. Then runaway slaves could be captured in the North and re-enslaved in the South. Still, Harriet continued to be brave and smart. In time, slave owners learned about the Underground Railroad. They learned that Harriet guided many slaves to freedom. Slave owners were angry. They offered large rewards for anyone who captured her, but she was never caught. Chapter 4, A Real Shero. People in America continued to disagree about slavery. It was the main reason for the Civil War. The war started in 1861. The northern states who opposed slavery formed the Union Army. Southern states in favor of slavery formed the Confederate Army. If the Union Army won the war, slavery would be abolished. All enslaved black people would be freed. Harriet wanted to support the Union Army in any way she could. In the 1800s, women could not serve as soldiers. Instead, Harriet prepared meals for the Union soldiers. She also served as a nurse for the sick and injured. Then the Union Army learned that Harriet helped slaves escape to freedom. They offered her a special role, one that was rarely given to women. Harriet became a spy. Harriet had guided many slaves to freedom. She was very familiar with the geography of the South. She led dozens of Union Army missions. She helped the soldiers hide, track Confederate soldiers, and raid Confederate camps. The Civil War ended in 1865. Harriet was proud. The Union Army won. Slavery was abolished. After the Civil War, Harriet moved to Auburn, New York. She also married Nelson Davis. Nelson Davis was a former slave. He fought in the Civil War. Together, Harriet and Nelson adopted Gertie, their only daughter. Harriet Tubman lived to be 91 years old. She is remembered as a Shero, a smart, brave, and courageous woman.